Today I'd like to go through with you how we go about propagating our salvias from cuttings.
So we are today going to grab some cuttings of these Salvias. Cathedral is the variety, and they're not the best, so we are going to cut them back. We always do that at this time of year. They're not the best at because there was previous lime in the soil which we added when we had lavenders here, and we're going to prune back to about down there, cutting for the good of the plant. You have to cut just above some leaves or a node, but for the good of the cuttings, that's a cutting, and we can just strip them back, pull them back. That's a cutting. That's long enough for a cutting, and we may even be able to make that a cutting. And we pull that off.
So what makes a cutting a cutting? You know, what were those choices? Why are you making those?
The length.
The length, yep.
Because the other tiny bits are too short for cuttings to go in the soil.
Am I seeing that you're cutting just below the leaves for the cuttings?
For the cuttings, yes. The roots will spring from that. And maybe even this one if it's in the soil.
So the roots are going to spring from where the leaves came off?
Yes.
Okay.
And so with all of these, I'm just going to
strip them back a bit.
Yep. Because you can't have leaves under the soil.
Sure.
So we will just do that.
And that's all opportunities for roots? Potentially
at every node.
Yeah.
Roots may form.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can even purposely strip, and roots may come from that.
From the stripped bit.
But
okay.
You have to click.
And you've got to move your cup and I want a nice big circle. Move your cup around in a nice big circle. That's it. No, that's nicely done. Now all around the pot, there's still some dry bits over this side. See, still dry over here, darling. Just slowly, so that all this water goes into the pot and doesn't go over the edges. That's it. And then keep doing it. Oh look, we've got some drips coming. That tells us the job's done, doesn't it? You did. Nice work. Well done.
All these.
Yes. Yes, you did.
If you're enjoying our content, it'd really help out our channel if you could like and subscribe. Thanks.
So normally you do this late summer, early autumn. So they've still got a bit of growth before the cold of winter sets in and growth slows down. So once you've pruned it off the plant, we cut just below a node.
Which is a pair of leaves.
A pair of leaves.
Yep.
Or a single leaf if that is the case.
Yep.
We rip to, I like ripping because it creates more surface area for roots to come out.
Right.
That's just me. Sometimes I pinch the leaves off.
Yep.
Or cut them off.
Yep.
And other times I rip them off. And with these salvias, they seem to get roots wherever there has been, where the outer skin has come off.
Right, yeah.
So I dip those in water. Ideally, you could use a rooting hormone powder, or you could use a honey. Some people use as a rooting compound.
Yep.
Some people use aspro or willow water, a willow tea.
Yeah.
Supposedly there's a component in that encourages roots to form.
Okay, interesting.
So there's all different things, but we're not using anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to use bulk cuttings to see what the percentage of success is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're also cutting off a lot of excess leaves.
So it doesn't have to just
work so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have, we're doing that. Cutting off, we're keeping minimal surface area so that minimal water loss.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's no roots.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
roots.
Yeah.
So in this situation, we might be able to fit in
5 or 6
5 or 6.
in
Yeah.
that little pot.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
you could pan
we're
across
planning on
those.
doing lots of them in the anticipation that we're going to lose
Lose a lot.
a lot, because this is not the best time of year to be doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This job. So when would be the best time?
When there's no chance of 40-degree days, which could be late summer or early autumn.
Yeah. But we're doing it now because we
Anyway.
needed to prune the bushes, and so we have the cuttings available now.
And so it's an experiment.
Yeah. So would you prune back salvias again at the end
Sometime through winter, before spring.
yeah.
Yes.
So that they would need, yeah. So you could get fresh cuttings at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or purposely take cuttings before pruning,
Yes.
the big prune.
Yeah.
Now here, I could either take that as a cutting,
Yeah.
or that's pushing it. That's
It's a bit short,
nearly, it's a bit short.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sacrifice
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
And I normally have secateurs. Secateurs look so much better than scissors on the video. But
Yeah. And we have used seed raising mix in these pots.
Yes.
And why is that important to use seed raising mix, Kathy?
it's important to use seed raising mix because
Or a
secateurs could get right in there.
Or a propagating mix?
A propagating mix. Seed and cutting mix is a propagating mix.
Yeah.
Because it has no fertiliser in and is really free draining.
Right.
Now you could use just river sand
Okay.
if you've got access to that, and,
Yep.
and washed river sand, wash your own river sand,
Yep.
and try that. You just need something to support the cuttings.
Yeah, right.
Once they start getting roots, you then pot them up anyway into a normal potting mix, and then
Yes.
start fertilising them.
Okay.
It's just that little tender, delicate roots can be burnt if there's fertiliser in the mix.
Right. Yeah. So that's the main thing, is to not have fertiliser in the mix, and that's why river sand's okay,
And free draining.
and free draining.
Because
yeah.
you can't have water holding around stems that could rot
Yeah. Yeah.
with no
Gotcha.
roots
Yeah.
actively
Yeah.
moving the moisture from the soil.
Yeah. Yep.
We cut just below a pair of leaves,
Yep.
and the roots will come from there. So that's one cutting, but this is nearly 2 cuttings.
Yep.
See, I think that could be a cutting. We'll leave that. That's going to be a cutting. And then we might have to trim that up. No, can't cut any closer. Take that off. That might be able to be a cutting. So we could do one pot with just tiny cuttings. And then this really is a lovely long cutting. So
One big one with the middle
one
as
yes,
the top.
Yes. See, they're nearly able to be cuttings, but in one pot you want basically all the same size.
Okay. And then taking the extra greenery off the top, so it's not trying to support too much.
So there's not too much water loss with no
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah.
And we're putting that.
And so you're basically treating the cuttings as a vase of flowers. Like you've got to keep them moist
Yes, that's
until
right.
they start developing those little
Yes,
little
absolutely.
new baby roots.
Yes. And that's why 40-degree days are pretty bad.
So we'll put these inside in the veranda so they won't be as hot
Yeah.
and as heat affected
Yeah.
in there, hopefully.
So that you've got a chance. And you want them basically to be all the same. height so that one, when you're watering later,
Yeah.
one's not overshadowing others.
Yep.
So you might even, I mean, even that, see, that's a little node. We might be able to make that a cutting. It's pushing it,
Yeah.
but
So it's going to be like we're not using any rooting hormone or
Nothing.
anything. So it's going to be very interesting to see how successful these are with none of
nothing.
that. Being used with just your plant material. Your
now this is a potential 3.
okay. Yep.
1,
Yep.
2,
Yep.
and even this one,
Yep.
because it's got leaves there,
Yep.
is a 3rd. It's going to be very interesting.
So the damp soil is holding that water like a vase of flower, like a vase does
Yeah,
for your cuttings.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here, even though this is a big long one, I don't think I can quite get 2. We'll try. We'll try. We'll just see if I can get 2. Because you lose some stem, see,
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah.
But I think I've done it. We'll cut off the big ones
Because that's a big lot to support.
to support, yeah.
Yeah.
And this one. So this is all a bit of an experiment.
Yes. So it's a bad time of year.
Yep.
The plants are in flower. Mind you, salvias don't stop flowering.
See, that's the tiny flower bud off
Yes.
with its head.
Right. Okay.
We're not going to let it. Because
those-
if we left the flower on, the cutting would try and keep the flower going and not, the
Yes.
energy wouldn't go to the roots.
Yeah.
I should have my glasses on. That'd help, wouldn't it? Now this is a bigger one, so we'll just go back to not trying to maximise the cutting here, because you have to make a decision
Yeah.
which way you're going to go.
Yeah.
So in fact, that's pretty good. We might put one more in.
So we've got a lot of material to work through.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. And again, we'll do another big one. So we're just cutting below the stem, below the node.
Yep.
We're just plucking those leaves off.
Yep. Or even stripping them.
Or
down
stripping
the
them.
stem. Yep.
Yep. If it was very delicate, you would pluck very carefully.
But salvias are not delicate.
They're not that delicate. They're survivors. Last year, when I did it the right time of year, I did a dozen and we had 100% success rate.
With no rooting hormone?
Rooting hormone
Yeah.
powder.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So when conditions are right,
Yeah.
so that the fun is just to go for it.
Yeah. Have a go.
And anything, to try anything. Lavender, rosemary, salvias,
Yeah.
Buddleias.
Buddleias even.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So there's 2.
Okay.
Now,
lovely.
they should have a drink straight away.
Okay. So we'll dunk them.
From
below?
Not from on top. Ideally, from on top.
Okay. All right.
With that.
With a red cup. Yep.
So, we shall see ideally with a little Now that one was really. Look how slow that one's draining compared to that one.
It's interesting, isn't it? The difference. Here we have them all potted up. We ended up doing 11 pots with about 6 in each pot. We only need 12 plants to succeed, so we should be able to get that. And I'll report back later on how they're doing.
Now we've got our cuttings here of cathedral salvias, and when I've got cuttings, I don't like to wet the cuttings themselves too much. So to water them, I just lower them down like that until you see that the top is just, that it's completely, can you see that top damp?
The dampness coming through on the
soil.
soil.
Tell me when you see that and I'll take it out.
Okay, well, maybe it needs to go a little smidge lower. Yeah, just wait there. Well, I don't know. So it can take a while?
Yes, I can feel it.
Okay, yes,
I can feel
yes,
it on my thumb now.
yes.
So I just let them drain off a little bit there. And we do them all like that.
And that's to avoid...
To help prevent damping off.
Right.
Which is fungus related.
Yep.
So that's how I water my cuttings, so that the actual end of the cutting, where we want the roots, is very wet, but the cuttings themselves aren't.
The tops, yeah,
The
leaves,
aren't,
leaves
yeah.
and stems.
The leaves are not wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll do the rest of those.
Okay. I like to spray them once a week with a weak sea salt solution, 5 mils to the litre, just to help prevent damping off.
So sea salt, what are the benefits of sea salt?
Well, it helps prevent shock of being put in,
Yep.
and also helps prevent damping off and fungal diseases.
Okay. So when we're making sure we're getting the foliage as well as the soil where So we have these plants set up in our sunroom, so that means they've got plenty of light but no direct sun on them during the day, and it also means that they're not getting the extremes of temperature that we're getting outside, because we're still getting 40 degrees days outside at the moment, but these little guys need a little bit cooler temperature to have a better chance of surviving. So at the moment we're getting about 40 degree days outside, which is centigrade, or which is close to 104 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. And we also have fans on in here so that the air circulation helps with the damping off problem that you can get with little cuttings. These have been in the pots and in the sunroom for a couple of days now, and you can already see little tiny new shoots are coming up. So, you know, that's very hopeful that these guys are going to survive and give us new little plants. Here we've got one that I'm a bit sus about, but you never know, there might be a little tiny shoot coming up there. We won't write him off yet. These cuttings are all Salvia Cathedral Deep Blue. Is it out in the garden in a lovely spot where it's very happy. It wasn't happy on the other side of the house where we had treated the soil with lime for lavenders that we had previously grown in that spot, and the salvias didn't like the extra lime in the soil, so they weren't doing well over there. Well, I hope you found that informative. We'll see you next time.